Hey kiddos, this is Unit 3, Week 2, your weekly introduction for our Wonders reading series. And we're going to be looking at our essential question, which is how can learning about nature be useful? And I think if we really think about it, learning about nature is extremely important because we only have one planet that we live on, and we're all part of it. So in this picture, you'll see some men who are working in something that we don't have here in Kansas. This is a photograph of a cranberry bog. That's right, bog. And a bog is a place that's kind of marshy and usually is only wet during certain times of the year. So why do you think these men are doing what we call cultivating it? They're in there. Sometimes you've seen these guys on the cranberry, Ocean Spray cranberry commercial, and they are cultivating it. You can see them, they're in their hip waders, but they are actually, the berries float to the surface there, okay? So they are cultivating it, but over time people learned how to grow these plants so that they were safe to eat. People watched how wild cranberries grew for a long time, and now they use what they know to grow large quantities of cranberries so we can enjoy them at some of our favorite holidays. But again, that bog is a wet, soft ground. It's covered by a body of water. It's easier to grow cranberries in a bog than to find them in the wild, actually. So it's kind of an interesting fruit that we eat. So if we take a look at this, they grow naturally in cool areas of the northern hemisphere. They are actually grown on a shrub, and they live in wet, spongy areas that we talked about called a bog. And when it's time to cultivate them or harvest them, the cranberry beds are flooded during that fall harvest so that the harvesters can remove the fruit and kind of corral the floating berries so that they're easier to get rather than spend time picking them. Freshly harvested cranberries then get processed to make sauce and juice and other nutritious products. So kind of in summary here, we're using our knowledge about nature of how to cultivate a crop so that we can enjoy the fruits. All right, let's take a look at vocabulary. At this time, if you need to stop the video and be prepared to write those words in your 5-subject notebook, in that vocabulary section, you should do that right now. All right, here comes our first word. The first word that we have is civilization. I love this picture. This picture is taken from Easter Island. And if we think about the word civilization, that is simply a society in which agriculture, trade, art, science, and government are highly developed. So the sentence that goes along with this is, I'm excited to look at the unique artifacts that an ancient civilization left behind. Our next word is complex. Something that is complex is difficult to understand or do. The sentence that goes along with this picture is the complex jigsaw puzzle was a challenge to finish. I had one of those puzzles recently. Our next word is cultivate. Cultivate. And when we cultivate something, it means to improve or to develop or make something better. So in this particular picture, we have two ladies and they're working in their garden. And the sentence is, it takes time and work to cultivate a beautiful garden. Our next word is devise. Devise. If you devise a strategy, you think about it and plan it out carefully. So in our picture here, the sentence that goes along with it, my mom helped our family devise a plan for eating healthfully. You can see they've got a shopping list there, and they're definitely in the produce section, not in the candy aisle. Our next word is fashioned. Fashioned. And when we talk about fashioned, it just means to be shaped or molded. And the sentence that goes along with our picture here is, I watched as the potter fashioned a vase out of clay. Next word is resourceful. Resourceful. A person who is resourceful is skilled in dealing with new or difficult situations. And in our picture here, you can see this duck has actually built her nest in an old tire. And the sentence is, birds are resourceful when finding materials to build nests. Next word is shortage. And a shortage is a lack of supply of something. And in this picture, we have a river that is drying up, so there's a shortage of water. And our sentence that goes along with the picture is, the river was drying up from a shortage of rainwater. The next word we have is tormentors. Tormentors. And tormentors are people or things that cause us pain or irritation. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but in this picture, they've used the word tormentors to represent mosquitoes and flies. Our sentence for the picture is, flies and mosquitoes can be tormentors to people in summer. And in Kansas, you might even include chiggers. Okay, that's the end of this video. You may go back and review any of those vocabulary words that you didn't get copied into your book. Please make sure you're getting this done. This is how you practice the words. You may stop the video now.